You got a runner. I'm on it.
Razor Crest, stand down. We will fire. I repeat, we will fire.
Well, what is up, all of you Ugnaughts and Jawas? I am DJ Foster here with Mando Talk for another installment of what we like to call the Razor Crest Rundown. If you're new here, basically this is what the rundown is. I'm just going to tell you all the news that we got from this past week. I may have missed a few things, that's okay. But what I can tell you is that all of our news pieces come from the good people over at Star Wars Newsnet and also Bespin Bulletin. So let's go ahead and dig into what we've got this week. Kathleen Kennedy has revealed that there is currently no movement on the upcoming Lando series. Donald Glover, who we know played Lando in Solo: A Star Wars Story, hasn't denied any involvement in the series up to this point. Kathleen Kennedy recently spoke with Cinema Blend about whether or not Donald Glover would be involved in the project. Now, Donald Glover hasn't denied involvement in the project, but since he makes the most sense to bring into the series, Kathleen Kennedy pretty much told all of us that they're waiting on Donald Glover's schedule to not be so busy, because clearly they want him involved in the project as it seems. Writing credits for Andor have been released this past week for the first 7 episodes. We're looking at a potentially darker toned series, which I think makes sense given the spy genre that we are looking forward to. Writers from the Bourne series, House of Cards, and The Americans have all been tapped to write on these first 7 episodes of Andor. So that pretty much tells us all we need to know about what the tone of this particular show is going to look like. Kind of a darker one, like I just said a moment ago. Actress Shakira Barrera has been rumored to have been cast in the Ahsoka series. Now, a lot of fan speculation has taken place around who she may play. A lot of speculation is leaning towards the Martez sisters, who were introduced to us in Clone Wars Season 7 and also reappeared in one episode of the first season of Bad Batch. Whether or not she's actually involved in the series is yet to be announced, but I'm sure we'll have our answers very soon, if not before the end of this year, obviously by the time Ahsoka premieres. Speaking of Ahsoka Tano, there has been another rumor surrounding a casting in her upcoming series. The actor, simply known as Obi-Wan, has been potentially attached to play none other than Ezra Bridger. Now, Obi-Wan is a relatively unknown actor, which actually keeps with the traditions that George Lucas implied with Episode 4 way back in 1977. But many people are still holding out that Aladdin actor Mena Massoud may actually end up playing Ezra Bridger. Personally, when you look at Mena Massoud, he looks like Ezra Bridger to me. It just makes the most sense to cast him over some unknown guy. And given that Star Wars has been casting more well-known individuals as of late for TV series, I think the better option would be Mena Massoud. Now, switching gears into the video game world, Darth Maul, yeah, you heard me, Darth Maul is rumored to be a main antagonist in the upcoming video game Jedi Survivor. What I love about this rumor is that Darth Maul, given the timeline of where Jedi Survivor is supposed to take place, roughly 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, that means that Darth Maul would be right at the top of his game as the leader of Crimson Dawn, which also gives a potential for Kira to make her appearance in the video game world. How that all plays into Jedi Survivor, I'm not 100% sure. But I can tell you this, I would love to watch Cal Kestis face down Darth Maul, and I cannot wait for this video game to release. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if that does happen, I'm all cool with it. Let us know what you think about this or any of the other things we've talked about in the comments below. Taika Waititi's Star Wars film has been rumored to be filming exclusively in Los Angeles, California. This rumor of it being potentially filmed almost exclusively in Los Angeles would mean a lot of really interesting things for not just Star Wars, but the production as a whole. Because what we've seen thus far in the Disney era of live-action TV storytelling is that the volume, stagecraft, has been used on all of these projects: Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi. Now let's take a step back and look at this. Taika's film being filmed in Los Angeles almost exclusively. Does that mean they intend to film an entire movie for Star Wars on the volume, the stagecraft? I don't see any major problem with that. We've seen how these TV series with Disney will go on location and do things outside of the volume. But what it looks like is going to take place is they're going to be filming a good chunk of this on the volume. So be looking for Taika Waititi to do all of his crazy stuff that he always does with all of his writing. It's a lot of fun, as we know, and we've seen that in Star Wars from Mandalorian Season 1. And I think it's going to be great to watch what he does with Star Wars in a full-length feature film. I think most of us are actually looking forward to that. So keep coming back to Mando Talk for any further updates on Taika Waititi's upcoming Star Wars project. Also, Bad Batch Season 2 has finally got a release date for this year. September 28th, 2022, you will get to see Clone Force 99 make their return to your TV screen. Personally looking very much forward to this. The trailer had me hyped. I mentioned that last week in our Razor Crest rundown, so go back and check out my thoughts on the trailer as a whole. But I can tell you this show has me very excited. I'm looking forward to seeing what Omega will be doing with Clone Force 99. And honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing more Crosshair. He's actually one of my favorite members of the Bad Batch. So there's that for you. Now, one more Star Wars Celebration kind of note that we missed last week, and honestly, I'm just glad that it resurfaced and I was able to see it on my Twitter feed. Maybe you saw it somewhere as well, but writer for Solo: A Star Wars Story, Jon Kasdan, has basically taken to the world and said, yes, there's more stories out there for Han Solo and Chewbacca in the time period we saw with Alden Ehrenreich and Jonas Suotamo, which also could potentially mean that our girl Kira may make a return to Crimson Dawn storytelling. Now, here's the catch with what he said. Jon Kasdan said, yes, I would love to see more of these stories being told, but Jon Favreau's the man to do it. Honestly, I think he's right. I think it'd be awesome to see Jon Favreau helm a Han Solo project. We know he loves Han Solo. Look at what he's done with Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett in his executive producing roles and everything else he's got going on with Star Wars. Not to mention, he voiced Rio in Solo: A Star Wars Story, so he already knows that story. It just makes perfect sense to bring him into the director's chair for a Han Solo type story. I personally want to see it, and even if they don't do Han Solo, at least give us some more Kira action with some Crimson Dawn. That would be, I think, the best way to go about telling a story post what we saw in Solo: A Star Wars Story. Now, our final news pieces have everything to do with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi saw the largest worldwide premiere audience numbers of any Disney Plus show to date. Were we really surprised by this? Did we really think this wouldn't happen? I mean, it's exciting to see that Obi-Wan's getting the fan recognition that it properly deserves. Speaking of all the fan recognition that Obi-Wan Kenobi's been getting over the past few weeks, there's now a rumor that a second season of Obi-Wan Kenobi is in production. Like, they're working on a second season. The things I've been hearing online from different news sources across the board and individuals as well, the creators of Obi-Wan Kenobi were just taken aback at the love for this character and the recognition that Ewan and Hayden have been receiving, to the point that they're all sitting around thinking, man, we maybe should have done a second season. Now, whether or not that's actually true, I'm not really sure. But let us know what you think. Do you want to see a second season of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Personally, right now, I don't know if I do. And that may become a shock to some people, but the truth of the matter is, what more do we need to say about Obi-Wan Kenobi after this series? If they do another season, I won't be upset about it as long as the story's good. But as of right now, I don't think I need a second season. As far as all of our Star Wars news pieces go, there may have been some things we missed, and that's okay. If there's something we missed, tell us in the comments. We'll make sure to report it on the show. But until the next time we do a Razor Crest rundown, I just want to say this. Come to Mando Talk tomorrow night, Tuesday, June 7th. Me and Caleb Keller will be interviewing none other than Wikipedia. Yeah, a representative from Wikipedia is going to be on Mando Talk. Caleb and I are very much looking forward to this interview, and not only with the interview, we're going to be doing our pre-show predictions for Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 4. So make sure you tune in to hear all of our predictions for this upcoming week's episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Not to mention, on Thursday night, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, by the way, Caleb and I will be back on the show discussing all of the spoiler things from Episode 4. So if you've seen the show by 6 o'clock Thursday afternoon, make sure you come and watch our spoiler discussion. We're going to have a lot of really fun things to discuss, no doubt in my mind on that. Just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you ring the bell, whatever the thing the YouTubers say, to make sure you subscribe, all that fun stuff. so that you can get updates when Mando Talk is live and updating new videos and new content, okay? Make sure you follow us. All of our links are in the description below. And as we like to say when we get out of here on Mando Talk, we have spoken.